Hey guys, Mr. E here, and today for a little bit of Borderlands 4 content, talking about a build that I'm going to be running when this game releases in 11 days. This is Vex, the Siren of Borderlands 4, and she is a necromancer and sort of a witch. She seems to specialize in things that are akin to the dark arts and having pets at her disposal, and so she makes an obvious great first choice for a character because her pets can do a lot of work for her. You won't be reliant on getting a really solid weapon drop in order to carry you. You just spec into your abilities and your combat skills, and those will carry you all the way till endgame and perhaps beyond. Now note that I am making this build without knowledge of any class mods or any further specializations, and perhaps even these things will be tweaked on release, but this is just hypothesizing. This is build crafting, theory crafting, something I really enjoy. So adventure along with me and I'll show you what I've cooked up. If you want to cook for yourself, by the way, you can check out maxroll.gg. They have a Borderlands 4 planner for all 4 classes, and you can see what sort of talents are available between these classes. These skill trees look amazing, and I'm super excited to tinker around with them upon release. But let's go. So, first and foremost, we are using this action skill. This is Dead Ringer, so this is like your ultimate, right? Dead Ringer can spawn one of 2 types of clones, and these clones can either be melee or ranged clones. The clones that we're going to be focusing on with this build are the ranged clones, the Spectres. Spectres lose a percentage of their health every second, and this increases per second that they're spawned, so you kind of need to have a little bit of regeneration for them to fight that attrition, and then keep on summoning them. But they put that degradation on them there so they don't just last in the battlefield forever. But ranged minions are always super strong in games because they don't have to worry about pathing and running over to enemies and chasing them down. They can just hit them from anywhere, and if you put them in advantageous positions, you can deal a lot of damage very, very easily. So this build is going to be focused, as I said, around capitalizing on the amount of damage that these clones can do and not putting too much stake in our own power. And that's why we're going to be also stacking tons and tons of increase to minion damage and kill skills. I'll explain why in a second, why we are going for those kill skills. You'll see it. But we are first starting off with Sanguine Fiends here. This is going to give us a little bit of health regeneration for ourselves and our minions. It's always nice to have regen in these games because you'll get nicked through your shields every so often. Nice to regen, but specifically, I don't exactly know where the balance is here, but I want at least a couple of points of this so that my minions can regen, and that'll offset the health degen that they're getting from living for a certain amount of time in the battlefield. This will extend their life expectancy by a good amount. Then we're taking Cold Iron, which is going to increase their gun damage. Our range minions are going to be dealing gun damage, so every increase to minions' gun damage is good for us. We're coming down here and grabbing Grave Assault, another kill skill. These are skills, obviously, that trigger when you kill an enemy, or when other things are triggered. And Vex and her minions grant increased fire rate for a duration. This is going to stack up to 10 times, and the fire rate is 7.5% per stack once you have all 5. So a really, really, really high, or sorry, it's going to stack up to 3 times. So a max of 7.5% per stack. So like 25% attack speed, somewhere in that range. Really, really nice. We are also going to be taking Coven here. Coven is going to grant us this buff. When you spawn a Spectre, it grants you and your minions crit chance for a duration. This crit chance is 10%, which you can stack 3 times, so 30% crit, and it lasts 20 seconds, which is going to mean our minions are critting a lot, even without any further investment in their critical chance. Coming down here, we are grabbing Grave Quickening. Kill skill. Vex gains increased action skill cooldown rate. So this is going to stack multiple times and give us lots of extra cooldown, right? The faster we can get the cooldown, the faster we can spawn our next clone and keep those clones populating the battlefield. Then we grab Grave Fiends. 4 points into this. Kill skill, Vex and her minions deal increased damage. Man, I'm hitting those GRs for no reason here. Dealing increased damage, obviously good, it's what we want here, and again, it's another kill skill. Well, here we'll first explain one of the 2 reasons why we're using kill skills with this build. With Blood Sacrifice here, we can trigger kill skills whenever our minions die. So whether an enemy kills our minion or they run out of health by living for too long, then they're going to die and they're going to trigger these kill skills for us for free. So not only can we get these kill skills by eliminating enemies, but just by continuing to throw up clones, we're eventually going to get stacks for free and get these stacks up really, really high. So kill skills are very, very valuable to us, and you'll see more reasons why when we go into our second tree. Coming down here into our further specialization, we're going to grab Prismatic Weaponry. This is going to allow our Spectres, which is our range minions, to deal bonus damage with gun critical hits. Remember that our Coven ability up here, one of our 2 augments, is going to make our minions have a 30% increased crit chance, which is going to be awesome for dealing that bonus damage. And it's also going to add random elemental types to their hits. So very, very potent extra damage increase. Then we've got Ancient Rites. This is going to stack bonus damage for our minions for every minion that's alive every single second. So up to 1% per minion per second with a duration of 8 seconds, and this can stack up to 40%. So just having these minions on the battlefield is going to increase and snowball their damage to some pretty high levels. Then we're going to grab Diner, which is going to give Dead Ringer, which is our ultimate ability here, an extra charge. Normally you can only have 3 charges. This will give 4 charges, so you can start any given engagement by laying down 4 of these clones. And as we just established, every one of those clones that's active is going to build up Ancient Rites faster, it's going to kill faster, it's also going to give us that blood sacrifice faster. So extra charges are awesome, especially when we can get that cooldown back really quick with Grave Quickening. And then finally, our capstone here, which is Dark Pact. Dark Pact allows us to equip 2 augments. So these like augments like Coven here, and it gains the ability to use Dark Pact. Let's cover our second augment first of all, which is going to be Wither. Wither means that when Spectres pop up, they cast Wither on an enemy that they're targeting, and it deals status effect damage over time, but more importantly, it increases their damage taken for that duration. So these enemies that get hit are going to take 30% increased damage for 15 seconds, which is huge, and this triggers that they can shoot another Wither out that adds a stacking damage over time effect every time they kill an enemy. It's a kill skill. So again, every time we're killing, or every time one of our minions is dying, they get a refresh on when they can cast Wither and keep enemies taking increased damage. So we're multiplying the damage that enemies take by hitting them with Wither. And then the final thing about Dark Pact here that is amazing for what we're doing is it gives you the ability to use Dark Pact. So when you press and hold F, you fully restore the health of all of your active clones, as well as granting increased movement speed, which is not important for us, but minion attack speed for a duration. So it's going to like turbo boost all of our minions in the field. It's going to put their health back to full. If you had a bunch of minions that were about to die off because their health degen was really high and they were getting low, you can heal them all back to full, and then they don't lose health over time while this is active, which lasts for 12 seconds. And it's up every 42 seconds, and then the health loss is reset. So they go back to losing health at that very slow rate like they did when they started after this ability ends. So this is awesome. We can get our army up and then hit this ability and get a reset and get a ton of extra duration on that clone and continue to build our army until it is so many clones strong. Okay, so we've got some points left, and this is all we've got on this tree. We've got 18 points left to take us to the cap of 49 skill points at level 50, and we're coming over here into the Incarnate tree where there's going to be some additional stuff that's very juicy for us. We're going to grab Guns and Needles, which is going to give us another kill skill. It's going to increase our rep kit cooldown. Restore our rep kit cooldown. This is our healing ability. This is our healing tool. It's always nice to have some, a healing thing on hand here, but more importantly, we just need something to spend on so that we can get into this second tier here. But this is nice. It synergizes with our kit because it's a kill skill, so not too bad. We're also taking this kill skill, which gives us, specifically just us, critical hit damage and weapon handling. That's okay. We're going to be doing a good amount of crits. I would recommend a crit gun with this build because we have this thing over on the Dead Ringer side where the Spectre spawning is going to give us and our minions critical hit chance. So we're definitely good at doing crits here. But again, not the biggest thing in the world. What we are interested is coming down here for Grave Implements, which is another kill skill. Vex and her minions gain increased gun damage for a duration. This gun damage is going to be 15% with up to 3 stacks of 45%. And again, being a kill skill, we're going to be having these up all the time. We are also going to be picking up Bloodletter over here. Bloodletter is going to allow our gun critical hits and our skill critical hits, meaning our Reapers, or sorry, our Spectre's critical hits, a chance to apply Bleed, which is going to stack on these enemies many, many times. You can stack this up to 20 times, which it would be hard to do with just our self-shooting, but when we have a whole horde of these Spectres with us shooting who are also getting a chance to apply this, it's going to stack up those bleeds very, very quickly and bleed these enemies out. We're also taking Fiendish Invigoration, which is going to give our minions increased movement speed, which they can't move, but they're going to get fire rate for the duration every time we use a repair kit, which remember, we're getting that repair kit cooldown from using this Guns and Needles tool over here. And then finally, we're capping out with Grave Power, which gives all of our kill skills increased max stacks, up to 3 increased max stacks. So if you think back to every other kill skill we've had throughout this so far, where we've had a max stacks of, for instance, over here with Grave Implements, we've had a max stacks of 3, with gun damage being increased by 15% for each stack. That's 45%. Well, now this can stack 3 additional times, which means we can take these kill skills through the roof and we can continue to stack them up with Blood Sacrifice, even when there's not a ton of enemies around to keep killing. And that is the build, guys. I hope that this one serves you well. This is one I'm going to be leading off with, as I said, and I hope that you are eager to play Borderlands as much as I am. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.